8254. For example, you have 8254. You have three counters, okay? Counter 00, 01, and 10. Or you can call it 0, 1, and 2. In that, each counter has got its own clock, right? So whichever clock is connected to that particular counter, we are talking about that clock's period, okay? So suppose you are using, okay, counter 1, assume you are using counter 1 in mode 2, okay? In that case, the clock period here is defining the period of this particular clock, okay? So in this mode, the 8254 from the out, okay, here you also have an out. So in the out, you will be able to get a pulse which will be equal to clock period of the clock which is connected to the counter. But in general, when we say pulse, we think this is what we are expecting from the output, okay? But unfortunately, this is not the case. Here, when we are saying pulse, the pulse will look like something like this, okay? This is what the pulse will look like. And this particular time period, okay, this particular period is the period of the clock, okay, which is connected to the counter. Now, after the count is loaded, the out remains high. So by default, the out is high, okay, high. And then when it reaches to the terminal count, okay, when it reaches near the terminal count, it becomes 0 or it becomes low for one clock period. And then again it reloads, okay. So remember this part again, that in mode 2, the counter is reloaded with the same number, okay. So what will happen if the count is reloaded? Then again after a certain time you will get next pulse, then again the count will be reloaded, okay. Then again after certain time this will generate a pulse. So this is what we are calling the pulse, okay. This particular thing is here called pulse, okay. In general, we assume pulse is going from low to high, but here in 8254, this pulse here, it is representing when the signal goes from low to, sorry, high to low. And remember, like I said, count is reloaded automatically and the pulse is generated in continuous fashion. So you can generate continuous pulses. Remember, pulses, not square wave or rectangular wave. Pulses, if you need rate, no, if you need pulses, you use mode 2, which is rate generator. Or you can just remember here, you can use to call it pulse generator also. Okay. Remember, in this mode, only thing that you have to remember is count 1 is not allowed, because the terminal count, that means the count when it reaches 1, it goes low, and for that time period 0, it remains low, okay. So therefore you cannot load one count in mode 2, okay. So in mode 2, count 1 is not allowed. You can go for any other count, because here it says until it reaches 1. So if you load it with 1, then definitely always the output will be low, which is not allowed. So count 1 is not allowed in this particular mode. This is what mode 2 is all about. Let us see how can you generate the output in mode 2. So suppose you have number 4 loaded into the counter, okay, and you generated the count, okay. That means you allowed the write and gate is activated. In that case, the moment you complete the write operation, from the next pulse the count will start, where you have 4, then 3, 2, 1, and after 1 it goes 0 for one. This is one pulse. Okay, so this is the clock period of the clock. So if you are using 20 kilohertz or something, then 1 by 20 kilohertz time period will be used to keep it low. Then again the count will be loaded, that is 4. Okay, then again 4 3 2 1, and then if suppose in the middle of, or in somewhere in between the count, if you load a new number, so remember the count will complete, present count will complete. Okay, and then a new number will be loaded from the new count. Okay, so remember here you can say new number will be loaded after completing previous count. Okay, okay. So this is all about the mode 2, and remember it will keep on repeating the same pulse again and again, so it is automatically reloaded. Let us take an example. Suppose here we are saying clock 2, okay, is 1 megahertz. Clock 2 is 1 megahertz. It itself shows that we are using counter 2. Okay, so clock 2 is 1 megahertz, gate 2 is 1, so gate is activated. Okay, and the count is 750. Now show the waveform at output 2. If count 2 is programmed for, count means this is counter 2. Okay, counter 2 is programmed for mode 2. So we have to show the waveform of output 2 when the counter is programmed for mode 2. Okay, so we have almost all the details, that clock frequency is 1 megahertz, gate is activated, so don't have to worry about the gate. Count is provided 750. So how much time out 2 will take, or output out 2 will remain high, will be decoded by this n and clock 2. Okay, so because here clock 2 is 1 megahertz, it is directly saying that the period is 1 microsecond. Okay, so 1 microsecond is clock period. Now 750 you have loaded to the count, so 750 microseconds it will remain high. Okay, and then after that, when it reaches 1, it will go low for 1 clock period. This period is 1 clock period. 1 clock period means here we have 1 megahertz, so it will remain low for 1 microsecond. Okay, 1 clock period, and then it will keep on repeating. So this is the waveform at the out 2. If you are using mode 2, mode 2 is auto reloaded. So you get the frequency, and at the end you get pulse. This is the pulse we were talking about. Okay, so here the pulse is not going from high to low to high. The pulse is coming from high to low. Okay, this is important to note. Now this is mode 2. Now coming to the next mode, which is square wave generator. Okay, now from the name itself it is clear where we can use this particular mode and why, what will be the application of this mode. So in this mode you can generate square waves, but square wave, of course, when we say square wave, then we should have a wave in which the T on and T off, okay, should be equal, or we can say 50-50%. 50% time it should be on, and 50% time it should be off precisely. Otherwise, if suppose we have something like this, okay, where it is not 50%, suppose it is 60/40. Okay, in that case we will not be calling it square wave, rather it will be called a rectangular wave. It is not square wave. Square wave is only when you have 50% time on and 50% time off. This is square wave. Okay, now but but now the question is, what kind of counts can be loaded and how this particular IC8254 behaves in mode 3. Okay, so if you are loading even number, for even number it is clear that you divide it by 2 and half of the time you keep it on and half of the time you keep it off. So if you are using even number, if you are loading the count with even number, then the counter will be generating high output for n by 2, that is half of the time, and off time precisely n by 2. So there is no issue in that. Okay, so suppose if you are putting count 10, so okay, so in that case what will happen, because it is an even count, for 5 clocks or 5 count it will remain 5 count, it will remain high, and 5 count it will remain low. It is clear. But now if you are loading the count with odd number, if you are loading the count with odd number, the on time will be n plus 1 by 2 and off time will be n minus 1 by 2. So that means this particular case, in this particular case, it is not perfect square wave. Okay, when you are loading odd count, and remember, n plus 1 by time, n plus 1 by 2 times it will be on, and n minus 1 by 2 times it will be off. So this has to be clear in your mind, that if you are loading odd number, then 1 plus n plus 1 by 2 time will be on, and n minus 1 by 2 times it will be off. Times here it represents the count. Okay, here again the initially the count will be high, and count is decremented by 2. Count is decrement by 2 for each clock cycle. And here again when we say clock cycle, this is the clock which is connected to the counter. Okay, clock connected to counter. Okay, so out will be automatically high, count will decrement by 2. Okay, every time when the clock changes in your counter, the count will be decremented by 2, not by 1. Okay, by 2. And when it reaches 0, okay, the count is reloaded again, because you have to generate square wave. Again it is auto reloaded kind of stuff, so it will be keep on generating the square wave. So it is count is auto reloaded. This is again important. So let us see how we can generate square wave, or how can we work with mode 3. Okay, so we have the clock. So suppose you are loading n equal to 4, which is even number, and remember, which like it said, with each clock period, this is one period of clock. Okay, so this is one period. So from here to here is one period of clock. So in this time period, see here the count is decremented by 2. This is important. Okay, so count is decremented by 2. So from 4 it is not going to 3, it is directly jumping to 2. Okay, so 4 2, and here you are getting 0. Okay, and definitely it is auto reloading also. So when it gets 0, it changes from high to low, and then again the count is reloaded, 4 is reloaded, and here again remains low for half of the time period. So you will have 0, you can say it is 0 here, but at the same time it is getting reloaded, therefore it is 4. Okay. Now you can see it is perfectly, it is a perfect square wave when you are generating count with even count. Okay, when you are generating output with even count. Now when we are loading odd count, when we are having n equal to 5, so you can see with each period we said the count goes low by 2. Okay, but because we are loading it with the odd number, we know that it will be remaining high for n plus 1 by 2 time period. Okay, and low for n minus 1 by 2 period. So therefore you can see it jumps from 5 to 4, which is n minus 1 to manage that n plus 1 kind of thing. So 5 to 4, and then from 4 to 2, and then 2 to 0. Here it is 0 basically, but again it is reloaded by 5. Okay, so therefore we can see the count is remaining n plus 1 by 2 time period high and n minus 1 by 2 time period low, and count is decremented by 2. Okay, initially this particular part is decremented by 1, and then it will keep on decrementing by 2. Okay, so that you can manage this n plus 1 and n plus 1 and n minus 1. So this is how you generate the output in square wave mode when you have odd number loaded. Now take an example of mode 3. Suppose clock 2 is 1 megahertz, gate is activated, and count is 1000. Then draw the out 1 or the output of the clock out. No, it should be clock 1. Okay, because here counter 1 is being used, so this should be clock 1, gate 1, out 1, counter 1. Okay, mistake here. So just a second. This should be 1. Okay. So we know the period of the clock is just 1 by 1 megahertz. We will get 1 microsecond, and count is 1000. So 1 microsecond into 1000. So 500 count, it will be high. Okay, and for rest of the 500 count, it will be low. So 500 microsecond it will be high, 500 microsecond it will be low. It is very so-called simple example, because square wave you can generate anytime. Okay, so this is the output of out 1. Wait a second, here it should be out 1. Okay, so anyone having any doubt how we can generate or how we can use mode 2? Now the thing is, why we are studying this thing? Because remember, if you want to generate the same output, or if you want to use 8085 to do the same task, what will happen? You will be loading some number into some of the registers of 8085, and then you will keep on decrementing it for certain time period, and then again increment, so-called half of the time you will keep for keeping the LED on, and half of the time you are keeping it off. So basically you are just counting. The microprocessor will be busy in counting these two numbers, but it is nothing but wastage of time. So what the microprocessor can do? Microprocessor can use this kind of peripheral ICs, load the count, and give the control word. Done. Now with the control word, when you are pushing the device into mode 3, the clock will automatically generate high and low, and at the output, that means at the out, okay, out 1, you can connect an LED and you can generate a blinking process. Now this will be blinking for infinite time period, whereas now the microprocessor is totally free. microprocessor can do some other task which is more important than just blinking an LED. So in this way, you can save the resources of the microprocessor. Okay. Now let us see an example or a question. Write an assembly program for counter 1 to divide clock by 10,000, producing mode 3 square wave. So suppose the question is, you are going to use counter 1, divide the clock 1 by 10,000, and you should generate square wave. Of course, when you are using mode 3, it will be square wave, or it can just say generate square wave, or it can you say that push the device into mode 3. Okay. So mode 3 square wave, use mode 3 square wave in the control byte. Now here it is saying that assume counter 0, address of counter 0 is 94. By knowing the address of counter 0, we can easily decode the address of counter 1, 2, okay, 0, 1, 2, 3 counters done, and control word. And then that is the address. Okay, then after that, we have to push the device into mode 3. Okay, for mode 3, then we have to generate a control word. And that control word has to go to the control register, and done. Nothing more than that. Only thing is, know the address, know the control word, load the control word into the proper address, and the device will activate that particular mode. You don't have to do anything. So just see, this particular question might look very big, or if you might be assuming the program will be very large. No, it will be just a 2 or 3 line program. Okay, let us see. So we have to select counter 1, first task. To select the counter 1, we have D7 and D6. So therefore it is 0, 1. So we are counter 1. It is 0. If it is 0, 0, counter 0, 0, 1, counter 1, 1, 0, counter 2, and 1, 1, it will be control word register. Now D5 and D4. In D5 and D4, we are putting 1, 1. 1, 1 means first we'll be loading the lower significant byte, then we will be loading the upper significant byte. This tells how we are going to load the count. So to load the count, first we will be loading the lower significant byte. And then after that, we will be loading the upper significant byte. And the count will be derived from this particular number. Okay. And now to get into mode 3, now you have to use 3 bits to decide the mode, and 0, 1, 1 will give you mode 3. It can be also 1, 1, 1. If you remember that mode 0 is 0, 0, 0, then mode 1 is 0, 0, 1. Mode 2 and 3 has one don't care bit. Okay, so that don't care bit can either be 0 or 1. Here we are preferring 0 because we want a simplified 3. So 0, 1, 1, it is 3. So this is mode 3. And then we are telling the system that we'll be loading the binary equivalent or binary equivalent number for the count. The count is not going to be loaded into BCD format. So the count will be loading in binary format. Anyone having any doubt why the control word register is like this? If not, then this particular combination is 7H, this 4, and these 4, 6H. Okay, so it will be 76H. This is your control word. Done. So now you know the control word, you know the control word's address. Control word's address is 94 counter 0, 95 counter 1, 96 counter 2, and 97 control word registers address. So address of control word is 97H. Done. Now you can use in or out instruction to load this particular number into the control word register's address. Done, and the system will start working according to the mode you have selected. So the program will be, wait a second, like this. Move a comma 76. Why you are using 76? Because control word is 76. Any doubt? Okay. Move a76. So you are going to load the control word and out 97H. 97H. So that means control word has been loaded to the control words register. Now coming to the count. Count is 10,000, which is in decimal. Okay. If you convert this decimal number into the hexadecimal number, it will be 2710. Okay. So 2710. So 2710. Remember, this is your lower significant byte and this is your upper significant byte or higher significant byte. Okay. So now we have mentioned here in D3, sorry, D4 and D5 that we'll be loading the lower significant bit first. Then we will be loading the upper significant bit. There, byte, sorry, byte. Okay, so now you can see here we are loading 10 first. Why? Because this is your lower significant byte. So 10 is loaded. And where we are loading that byte? To the counter 1, because we need to activate the counter 1. Address of counter 1, 95. How we derived that address? Because counter 0 is 94. Definitely counter 1 will be 95H. So you loaded the lower significant byte, then you loaded the upper significant byte, and done. The system will start working in mode 3 and it will keep on generating a square wave. Any doubt? Any doubt till this part?
सर एक बार वो मोड 3 का ऑड वाला वेवफॉर्म वापस कर दीजिए।
Odd wala waveform.
यस सर, सर प्रीवियस 2 स्लाइड पहले।
Mm-hmm. Okay. First thing that we must know is it is not possible to generate square wave when we have odd count. Okay, for even count we can definitely generate square wave because you can keep half of the time high and half of the count we can keep it low. For half of the count, if we are that means for even system, okay, we can keep it high for half of that count and half of the count it will be low. So 50-50%. Okay, perfectly n by 2 and n by 2. Okay, high and low. But it is not possible to load odd number into any counter and generate a square wave, perfect square wave. One clock if you want to miss, don't worry. But perfect square wave, it is not possible. So what it will do, it will generate a square wave where it has got n plus 1 by 2 time period high and n minus 1 by 2 time period low. Okay. And remember, with every clock, okay, with every clock, generally 2 count is decremented. Okay, with every clock or every clock period or every clock cycle, the count is decremented by 2. Okay, so if you are loading a count like 10, the counter with every clock, the count will be like first it will be 10, then 8, then 6, then 4, then 2, and then 0. Whereas 0, it will be again loading 10. Or you can put 0 or 10, it's your choice. Now, and then this cycle will keep on repeating. Okay, this cycle will keep on repeating. Now the question is, for even number system it is okay, but now for odd number system, the system will remain high for n plus 1 by 2 time period, and it will remain low for n minus 1 by 2 time period. And suppose now you are choosing an odd number like 11. Okay, so for 11, the system will remain high for 11 plus 1 by 2 time period, which is 6. So 6 count will be for high. Okay, 11 minus 1 by 2, 10 by 2, 5 count, it will be low. Okay, this will be high for 6 time clocks, and it will be low for 5. And you can see it is 11. So let us see how we can generate this clock. And remembering one more thing, that every clock cycle the count should decrement by 1. And in such cases, in these odd cases, it is not possible, because in that case you will not be reaching to terminal count 0. You will be reaching -1 indirectly. So what the system can do is, for it can so-called adjust one clock period, okay, and it will decrement one of the counts by 1 only, and then it will start decrementing by 2 only. So let us see. For even count, it is not that difficult. For each clock period, this is one clock period from here to here. Okay, you can take any clock period, but here we are talking about. Remember, in the last class also I told you the count starts, or the output changes its value when we are getting a clock from high to low in the whole 8254 system. When the clock goes from high to low, then only the count or the output changes its state. So you can see the output starts from 4, then with one clock it decremented by 2, so 4, 2, and then after one clock again it decremented by 2. So this is one clock period, and this is 2 clock period, 2, and again here it is 0 basically, but because it is reloaded it is 4. Then again it will remain low for the same half count period. Okay, now coming to odd number. In the odd number, we have to load the system by 5 count. So the count starts from 5. But like I said, for the first clock period, it will not decrement by 2. It will just decrement by 1. Decrement by 1 first time, because the count has to go even in that case. Otherwise, it will go to -1, because here you have to reach 0. So then after that, with each clock period, it decrements by 2. Okay, so 5, 4, then 2, and then 0 here. Actually it is 0, but it is reloaded to 5, and then again now this time period n minus 5, that means n is 5 here. So 5 minus 1 by 2. So 4 by 2 is equal to 2. So only 2 clock period it will be low. Okay, and at 3 clock period it will be high. 3 clock period it will be high. 3 count will be for high, and 2 for low. Okay, and now you can see one clock period it is low, second clock period it is low. So it has got 2 clock periods. So decremented by 2, decremented by 2. Okay, this is how you generate. It is not a square wave. Remember, this is not a square wave. Is not a square wave. Okay.
सर इसमें जीरो आउटपुट के टाइम पे सर फर्स्ट में डिक्रीमेंट 3 हो रहा है सर 5 to 2.
हाँ, तो I told you, no, it is adjusting that thing. 5, then here it is adjusting that so-called, because otherwise again, if you go from 5, then if you go for 4, assume, you cannot go to 4, clear? You cannot go to 4. And 3, then again you decrement by 1, it will be 3, and then 1, and then -1, which is not okay. So here it is decremented by 3, decremented by 3, okay, and then decremented by 2 and decrement by 2. Okay, then it will continue decrement by 2. So this is how for the first clock only. Okay, for the first clock you have to be careful. Only the first clock. Then after that it will decrement by 2. And why it is doing this thing? Because he has to maintain this particular thing. 5 minus 1 by 2 time low and 5 plus 1 by 2 time high. Okay. Okay. Anyone having any difficulty to understand how you can write a program provided the question is given to you and there will be nothing else provided to you? No so-called circuit, no other details will be provided. If suppose someone asks you to write a program, and there are many tricks by which we can make it more complicated. This thing we can make it more complicated in many other ways, but still it is not that difficult. The program will be only of 4 or 5 lines maximum. Clear? Anyone having difficulty? Remember, in every peripheral IC, be it 8255, 8254, now in future you will be going through 8259 and so on. In every IC, the most important thing is the control word and then the address. Okay, address, you should be able to decode the address from the circuit. If a circuit is provided, you must be able to decode the address from the circuit, or you can decode the address by knowing only one of the addresses. If you know only one of the addresses, rest of the addresses you can decode because they are in sequential manner. And second, you must be knowing the control word registers detail. You fill them, and then this kind of subroutine are very small subroutines, and the system will start. So microcontroller will take only maybe some 15 or 20 so clock period, and by that time period the system will start generating a square wave, and then after that microprocessor can come back and do its own task. Okay. Now coming to the fourth mode, software triggered strobe. Okay, this is software triggered strobe, and the next so-called mode will be hardware triggered strobe. Okay, so okay, we start with the software triggered strobe. There is no big difference between these two modes, mode 4 and mode 5. Only thing is how you are triggering the gate. Okay, here the gate will be triggered using software triggering strobe technique. Okay, in this mode, okay, what are the things to remember? Okay, this is clear. Gate is when is the gate is 1, the count starts. When the gate is 0, the count stops. Okay, but I believe these two are more important to understand. The rest of the things you know from the previous cases also, or previous modes also. Remember, count is not automatically reloaded after the terminal count. This is important in this mode. Here, the count is not automatically reloaded. Okay, so if you need subsequent outputs, then in that case, count must be reloaded by the user. If you are saying it must be reloaded, then it is by the user has to reload the count. Okay, so remember, count is not automatically reloaded. This part is not automatically reloaded. And okay, the count is stopped before the terminal count by, okay, of course, if you disable the gate, you can stop the count. Remember, you can stop the count by making the gate 0. But after that, when you make the gate 1 again, the count restarts from the beginning. It do not restart from where you left, like the mode 0. Okay, it will not start from where you left. It will start from beginning. Whatever the count was there, if you stop the count in the middle, and again re-trigger the gate, then in that case, the count will start from the very beginning of the count itself, which was loaded. So this has to be clear in your mind. So remember, it is not automatically reloaded, and if you make the gate low in the middle of the count and then make it high again, the count will start from the very beginning, whichever was the value in the counter. Okay. Now let us see how this particular mode works. Okay, software triggered strobe. So you wrote n equal to 4. So the count is loaded, and with the gate, the count will start working. Okay. So remember, here we are assuming the gate is high activated. Okay. So the moment the loading purpose part is completed, okay, the moment write operation is completed, the count starts decrementing. Okay. And here you can see it is not automatically reloaded, only it remains low for one clock period. Okay. One clock period it will remain low, and then again it will remain high for rest of the time. So if you want to generate the same pulse again and again, then manually you will have to reload the count again and again. So that means somewhere here again you will have to pass a write command. Only then the count, that means the output will change its behavior. Otherwise, it will remain high for infinite time period. Okay, so this is not automatically reloaded. First thing, count will decrement by 1, and when it reaches 0, the output remains low for one clock period, and then it becomes high. Okay, it is not reloaded. If you correlate this particular thing with mode 3, sorry, mode 2. Okay, if you see here in the mode 2, okay, mode 2, the same thing was happening. The count was decrementing, and when it reached 1 rather than 0, okay, 1, it remained low for one clock period, and then automatically it reloads the same number. Here in mode 4, the difference is the count goes from 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0 is the terminal count, and then the output remains low for one clock period, and then it will be high for rest of the time period until unless you write a new number. This is mode 4. That's the difference here. So if you can remember this thing, then you can use, okay, here this is generator, so it will keep on reloading. Here reloading is automatic. Okay, you can say auto reloading, whereas this here no reloading. Okay, no auto reloading. Here it will remain low after 0 for one clock period. Here it remains low after 1. That means 1 to 0 will be always low. Here again 1 to 0 it will be low. But here 0, after 0 it remains low, and then again the output remains high until unless you reload it manually. So this is mode 4, and here we have mode 2. Mode 2 and mode 4 are very close to each other. Rate generator, it is auto reloaded, but here in mode 4 it is not auto reloaded. Okay. Okay. Now the second case, this was done. Now assume you loaded the number 4, and in the middle of the count, you disabled the gate. Okay, So now we are going to use the gate to control the counting. So you loaded the count, and just when you loaded the count, the counter will start. So the counter started from here. First count 4 is there. Now suddenly you made the gate low. Okay. So you made the gate from high to low. So you disabled the gate. Now here the count stopped. Okay. The count has been stopped, and the moment you activate the gate after any time period, it is not mandatory, it should be after 2 or 3, you whenever you make the gate high, because the count was not completed, so whenever you make the gate high, the count will start from the count value which was loaded in the beginning. So 4 again, 3 2 1 0, and after 0 the output will remain low for one clock period. Okay, this is one clock period, and then again it will remain high for infinite time period until unless you reload it with a new right value. Okay, so this is how the software triggered strobe actually works. Okay, now let us see how this particular thing can be asked in the exams. Okay, now here clock 0, that means counter 0. Okay, so clock 0 is 1 megahertz. So the period is 1 microsecond. Gate 0 is 1. So gate is activated. Don't have to worry about that. Count is 600. So total period of the time period for the counting is 600 microsecond, because 600 into 1 microsecond will give you 600 microsecond. Show the output 0 when the counter is programmed for mode 4. So now you can realize how the output will look like. Okay, so output 0, you have to draw the waveform of output 0 when we have loaded count n equal to 600. Gate is pre-activated, don't have to worry about the gate, and frequency is 1 megahertz. From the frequency we can derive the period, so 1 microsecond. Here it should be clock period is 1 microsecond. Okay, 1 microsecond. Okay, since clock is 1 microsecond, 600 microsecond time period, it will be output will be low, and for 1 microsecond it will go low, and then again high for the infinite time period. So this will be the waveform. Anyone having any doubt or difficulty how this particular thing is working in mode 4? Remember, you loaded the count with 600. So for 600 microsecond, it will remain high. The moment you reach the terminal count, 0 here in this case, it will go for low for 1 microsecond. 1 microsecond because it is having a clock of 1 megahertz. So 1 microsecond is the clock period. So for 1 microsecond, it will remain low, and then again it will go high for infinite time period, because you have to reload the number. It is not auto reloaded. Done. Clear? Anyone having any doubt in mode 4? No. Good. Now the question is, because here the gate can control the count sequence. Okay, now again the clock is 1 megahertz and count is 600. Show the shape of out 0 where counter 0 is programmed. Wait a second. At mode 4. No, this has been done. Okay, same thing. Nothing new. Here we should have used gate. We have not used the gate. Gate would have made this question a bit more interesting. Okay, leave it. Now coming to mode number 5. Mode number 4 was software triggered strobe. Mode number 5 is hardware triggered strobe. All the operations will be same except that here, this part, okay, all the operations will be same to that of mode 4, except that in mode 5, counting is triggered by rising pulse of the gate, not the write operation, okay. So the counting will start the moment the rising pulse of gate is received. Rising means from low to high, something like this. Whenever gate takes a transition from low to high, this kind of transition is taking place, only then the counter will start. Okay, this is the only thing that you have to keep in mind. Rest of the things are same as mode 4. Okay, and initially the output will be high and it will go low for one clock period at the terminal count. The same thing, everything will be same. Okay, let us look into the waveforms. Now we have the gate. Here you can see the gate is making a transition from high to low. Okay, sorry, low to high, and the count will start only after this particular transition takes place. So suppose you have loaded 4 and gate has transitioned from low to high, the count will start 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And remember, 0 is the terminal count here, and after 0, the output will remain low for one clock period. Okay, only one clock period, and then it will remain high for rest of the time. One clock period. Okay, and the same will be for the gates operation. If you deactivate the gate in the middle of the count, assume, so the transition from low to high, you can see here the transition took place here in this case. So the count started from 4, but unfortunately you made the gate low again. So the gate went from high to low, so deactivated the count. Remember, whenever you deactivate the count in mode 4 or mode 5, and whenever you reload the so-called you reactivate the gate, the count will start from the count which was loaded in the beginning, which is 4. It will not start from 2, because here it is 3, so it will be 3, 2, 1 or 0. No, it will not start from there. It will restart from the very beginning of the count. So 4, then 3, 2, 1, 0. And of course, it will remain low for again one clock period. Okay, and and then and then you will have output high again until unless you reload the new count. Okay, with the write, and gate should be transitioning from low to high. Only in those cases the count will start. Otherwise, the count will not start. This is about hardware triggered strobe mode 5. Okay, the question is, clock 0 is 1 megahertz. We have count equal to 400. Show the output out 1 if it is programmed in mode 5. Now you can easily draw the output if it is in mode 5. The count is 400. So 400 microsecond, because this is 1 microsecond period. Okay, so 1 microsecond, and that means count is 400. So 400 microsecond. Okay, it will remain high, and 1 microsecond it will remain low. Okay, so the gate is activated here from low to high, and the count started for 400 microsecond. It remained high, and then for 1 microsecond it remained low, and then it remained high for infinite time period until unless you reload a new count into the mode 5. Okay, done. So once you have these waveforms, just see the waveforms 2 or 3 times. You will understand when you should use one of these modes what are the applications what are the applications where you can these particular modes. And for example, remember one more thing, that this is what we called pulse here. Okay, pulse here is going from high to low, but in general when we talk about pulses, it look like this, from low to high. In general, most of the time in the past, you might have used, whenever someone says generate a pulse, you think, or your mind thinks, okay, go from low to high. But in 8254, whenever we say pulse, it is going, output is going from high to low, because remember, you studied that in almost all the modes, output is initiated by high. So, or initiated high. Okay, so output will start from the high itself, and then whatever transition you make, whether you make it counter or you make a square wave generator or pulse generator, the transition always takes from high to low, and that we call a pulse in 8254. This is the only thing that you have to remember, and rest, keep an eye on the waveforms, and done. You don't have to worry about the IC. It is just a simple counter or timer IC which works in 6 different modes. You have to remember the control word. Rest, the address you can decode just like the previous examples you did in with 8085 or with 8255 or any other IC. You just have to know the chip select. Okay, you have to know the chip select, and then definitely there will be some address lines will be provided to you by the IC. The chip select will show the address of the IC, and then knowing the A0, A1 line, or if there are more lines, okay, you just have to make the combinations like 00, 01, 10, 11. Definitely you can go to 4 different addresses using these 4 different combinations, whether it is counter 0, counter 1, counter 2, and CWR. And remember one more thing, CWR mostly are the last address. Okay, whether you used 8255 or you used 8254, or if you use any other IC in future, CWR mostly you will find that it is the last address. Okay, so it is not that difficult. And then if you want to program it, now you have everything in your hand. Just use in or out. Either you will be using, no, now you have to know whether the circuit is in IO mapped mode or the circuit is in memory mapped mode. Okay, so if it is in IO mapped mode, you will be using IO in or out of, in or out commands. If it is in designed in memory mapped mode, you will have to use LDA or STA command. Memory mapped mode, you will be using 16-bit address. Here you will be using 8-bit address. Done. Rest of the programming is almost same. You can use any program. Okay, any doubt till this part? Because now we are going to go through some problems related to the um, 8254 IC. Any doubt till this part?
So,
Hmm.
so it's not really a doubt. It's actually you said that when the count reaches one, at that time the pulse, the high to low pulse is coming.
No,
So for
depends. Depends. Wait. It depends. In some of the modes, the terminal count is 0. Okay. Only in mode this 4, no, mode 3, you can see In mode 3, no, mode 3, mode 2, wait. Okay. In here, in mode 2, you have terminal count 1. Okay. Terminal count here, when we say terminal count, that means after that the output is going to change. So the terminal count only in this mode is 1. In rest of the mode, for example, here you see the output is changing from high to low when your count is 1. In other mode, let us check mode 3. Mode 3. Here 4 to that was 0. Okay, the transition took place. Then again 4 to 0, the transition took place. 4 to 0, transition took place. 4 to 0, transition took place. 2 0, transition took place. So it is not transitioning at 1. Okay. Similarly,
Yes.
next go to the next mode, mode 4. Okay, here you see terminal count is 0. Then the transition took place. Okay, in mode 2, only in mode 2. These are some typical things. Okay, it is not, look, one thing you have to keep in mind. When a designer is programming a system, okay, it takes some time. It takes sometimes days or sometimes weeks to completely write the program, design the circuit and everything. It takes weeks sometimes, because once the circuit and program has been finalized, the system will run in the same manner for infinite time period. You don't have to change anything, but before that you have to be very careful. You first look into the data sheet, understand the data sheet, and you write code bit by bit. And once the program is ready, done. If the circuit is ready, done. Then after that you don't have to worry for your rest of the life. For example, similarly the mobiles are generated, similarly everything is generated. That's why the when the beginning, in the very beginning, the things are very expensive. Then after that, it is just like a photocopy machine. You know it can never go wrong. The first time you have to be very careful. Now you might be thinking, oh, so the designers remember all these data sheets. No, they don't remember all these data sheets, but they know that the solution is in the data sheet. They don't go here and there and wander in the internet and look into the solutions from others solution problems. No, they directly jump into the data sheet. It is the main resource. You know the basics of your programming, start writing bit by bit. And these kind of transitions, like whether the terminal count is 0 or 1, these kind of things you can easily trace out from the data sheet. And once you have traced out that, okay, I was getting an error because I was thinking 1 is the terminal count here. Okay, and then you check the data sheet. Then you see, okay, in mode 4, 1 is not the terminal count, 0 is the terminal count. Once you rectify, you know, you identified this particular problem, you rectify your code, and then done, finished. So this 1 week time period, or sometimes maybe months also, this time period is taking only to rectify these kind of small glitches. Okay, done. After that the system will work and with like an error free system for whole life. Okay, so the when we write programs, we have to be careful in this manner. That's all. You have to be um, patient, and start writing the code in a slow way. You do not write the codes by closing your eyes and you think that, okay, you can write everything. No, it is not possible. Electronics engineers or embedded science engineers, they will keep tons and tons of data sheet around them, and when they write program, they go slow, very slow. They write it bit by bit or line by line. Okay. Okay, so clear. Wait a second. Okay, so remember, terminal count is not always 0 or not always 1. In mode 2, terminal count is can be considered 1. Rest of the mode, terminal counts are 0. Okay, after 0 it remains low for 1 clock period. Any other doubt? Any other doubt? Okay. Hmm. Okay, we discussed this part. Now coming to the next question. Now you have to put your mind and come up with the answers. Pin of a given 8254 is activated by address this. This is the address. Okay. Find the port addresses assigned to 8254. First task. Find the port addresses of 8254. So now you know port 8254 has got counter 0, counter 1, counter 2, and control word register. Half of the information is provided to you. Now let me know what is the address of counter 0, 1, 2, and control word register. Decode.
So 94, 95, 96, and 97.
4, 95, 96, and 97H. Anyone else with any other address? Or anyone who is not able to decode this address? Okay, if suppose someone asks you whether it is memory mapped IO system or IO mapped IO system, which kind of circuit is this? Is it memory mapped IO or IO mapped IO?
IO map.
This is IO mapped IO. Any doubt why it is IO mapped IO? Because the maximum or the final address is, or the highest address pin that we are using is A7. In memory mapped IO, the highest address will be A15. Okay, this will be memory mapped IO. Clear? So this is IO mapped IO. And here what we are doing is partial address is provided to you up to A7 to A2. But we know A0 and A1 are used to decode these addresses. Okay, so if you put 0, 0, then it becomes counter 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, and 1, 1. So if you put 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, clear? 94, 95, 96, 97. These are the addresses of the counter and control word. Anyone having any difficulty? No. Okay. Now coming to find the configuration for 8254 if control register is programmed as follows. So now you have to find the things. Okay. Find the configuration for 8254 if the program is this one. Now you have to tell by this program in which mode, which what to say type of mode this particular IC is working, and which of the counter is activated, in which mode it is activated, which read write operation is taking place, whether the number is BCD or binary. By looking at this program, you have to decode what is going on inside 8254. So you have the control word. Now you understand why it is out 97 because control word is 97. And in the control word, you are pushing a number, something like this. So from this number, you have to decode what this IC is doing. So first question, which counter is used in this particular program? Which counter is used in this program?
Third.
Third, counter 2 is used. Anyone else?
Counter 0.
Counter
Counter 0.
Zero.
You see from here, the MSB is 0, 0. These two bits are representing SC1 and SC2. SC1 and SC2 are to select the type of counter. So when it is 0, 0, you are selecting 94, that is counter 0. You are activating counter 0. Clear? So the first 2 bits of the control word register are for the counter. Selecting the counter. Rest now it is very simple. You can look from this to so-called bits. Now the next 2 bits are for RW1 and RW0. If they are 1 1, what does that mean? What does signify if I put 1 1 here? This was 0 0 1 1. Now what it signifies? If they are 1
First
1.
we will write LSB and then we will give
Yeah,
MSB.
first we'll be writing the LSB data or count. LSB count. First we'll be loading the LSB count. Then we'll be loading the MSB count. That is what signified by these 2 bits. Okay, done. Now after that we need 3 bits in a group. Why? Because now we need 3 bits to decide which of the modes. Now if you see here, this is here. So 0, 1, 1. So the counter is in which mode? Counter is in third mode, mode 3. Mode 3. Okay, so that means we are using counter 0. In that we'll be loading the LSB first, then the MSB, and we will be using the counter in mode 3. And what type of count we are going to load into that counter? We are loading binary count. Okay, D0 is 0 signifies that the count that will be loading will be in the binary format. Clear? So this is all that you can decode from 2 lines of program. Only 2 lines of program. So counter 0 is selected. Read write LSB first, then MSB. Counter is working in mode 3, which is square wave generator. And the count that will be loading will be in the binary format. Clear? Anyone having any difficulty to understand what kind of questions can be generated? Questions can be of different type, but it is not that difficult. You only think that you have to correlate the things in a proper way. Then everything gets easy. Now let us look into another example. Now here the question is, write a program for A. Counter 0 is working in binary count mode 3. Binary count, okay, we'll be loading the count value in binary form, and the counter is working in mode 3. Divide the clock by 4282. This is the count, and we are using counter 0. Okay, so this is the first question. Question 2 is counter 2 is used in binary count mode. Okay, we are pushing the counter in mode 3, and we are dividing the clock by C26AH. Okay, here the count is BCD. Okay, remember here it is showing the count is BCD. So remember you have to use BCD. Here C26A is hexadecimal. We can say it is being used in binary format. Okay, now find the frequency of out 0 and out 2. Counter 2, 0 and counter 2 are being simultaneously used. They are working independently. Okay, so now the question is, find the frequency of out 0 and out 2 in question number A and question number B if the clock connected with counter 0 is 1.2 megahertz and counter 2 is 1.8 megahertz. Okay, so there are 2 different clocks connected to counter 0 and counter 2, and we have to know the frequency because mode 3 is square wave generator. Okay, so you have to remember that it is square wave generator, so definitely it is getting auto reloaded, and we are going to get something like this. Okay, so now the question is, you have to find the frequency of this particular wave out 0 and from out 2. They will be generating 2 different waveforms, and we have to find the frequency. Okay, so first of all, we must have to have the control word for these two things, because we have to write a program. Remember, we have to write a program, complete program. Okay, so the control word is 00. Okay, 00 11 0111. Okay, because in the question number 1 we are using BCD number. So counter 0. Okay, C0, counter 0, LSB, then MSB. Okay, LSB, then MSB. Mode 3, and BCD. Clear? This is all about the control word register. Okay. Okay, here the address is not provided. Okay. Address is not provided. Anyway. We can take the same address which was in the previous question. So address, take address from previous example. Okay, so 90, so counter 0, counter 1, counter 2, and CWR were 94, 95, 96, and 97. Okay, in the exam we will give you the question, so-called address. Okay, so now, okay, clear. So out, when we are saying move a comma 37, why we are using 37 and 82? So that means the number is 8237. Why we got 8237 in the first part? Why we are not loading 4282? The BCD number 4282, if you try to convert it into hexadecimal, you will get 8237. Okay, so 37 is your lower significant bit, and then you have the upper significant bit byte. Okay, a lower significant byte thrown to the control word register. No,
So
control word
37.
register 37 is this one. Sorry, 37 is this one. So control word register is loaded. Okay, which activates the counter 0, and it puts the counter 0 in mode 3. Now the number that you are loading is, sorry, not this one. The number that you are loading is LSB first, so 4282. Okay, clear. So here we have mentioned it is going in BCD mode. You have loaded 82, 42 into the 94, that is counter 0. Clear. So this is done. Okay, so this is the program which loads the counter 0 in mode 3, and the mode 3 count is given here in BCD format. So you loaded the lower significant byte first, and then the upper significant byte, and you loaded it to counter 0. Done. Now coming to the next program, where you have to load the counter 2 with this particular value in binary. Okay, so now let us look. So the control word, first thing, control word. The control word is 10, because we want the second counter 2. So counter 2 is selected. MSB first, then LSB first, then MSB, then MSB, and here mode 3, and we are using binary number to be entered into the counter. So this is your control word. If you take it, it is B6. Okay, 1011B 01106. So B6 is thrown into the control word register. 97 is the address. Okay, then we are loading the count the LSB first. So count is C26A. So this is LSB. Okay, and this one is your MSB. Clear? So the program is very simple. Only thing that you have to remember is to get into the control word register and the addresses. Done. Okay, now we know that when we load these numbers to this counter, they will start generating the square wave because we are using mode 3. And how to find the frequency of the output 0 and output 2 when we have clock of 1.2 megahertz and 1.8 megahertz connected to counter 0 and counter 2. Okay, so 1.2 megahertz should be divided with this particular number, which was loaded to your previous first example. Okay, it will give you 280 hertz. So 1.2 megahertz, this is 1.2 megahertz. Okay, divided by the count will give you how much time it is going to remain high and how much time it is going to remain low. Okay, okay, done. Now coming to the second 1.8 megahertz, and you have the count 47997 because the number was C26A. C26A, you have to convert it into decimal. Okay, decimal, and if you convert it into decimal, you will get 49770. Please cross check. So now you know the frequency of the clock, you know the count in decimal, divide them, you will get the frequency at which the clock is going to generate square waves. Clear? So this is how we can have multiple questions or different types of questions related to 8254. Okay. Any doubt till this part? I don't want to rush, just any doubt from this particular part. And this actually is ending the 8254, because now after this we will be starting 8259, and this thing is, if assume 8255 and 8254 was difficult, if you are thinking, then 8259 is at least 5 to 10 times more difficult because it can handle interrupts. And of course, interrupt itself is a quite a heavy concept, and this IC can control or program the interrupts in many ways. So definitely it is going to be a bit challenging task. Anyway, now suppose anyone having any doubt till this part? Anyone having any doubt? If not, then let us try one question. Okay, the question is write a program to generate a pulse. Okay, something like this. Okay, so write a program to generate a pulse. Generate a pulse at every 50 microsecond. Okay, from counter 0 in mode 2. Mode 2. So this is a question. So you have to write a program. Write a
Sir,
program.
clock frequency.
रुको पूरा क्वेश्चन तो खत्म करना था यार, है ना? Write a program to generate a pulse at every 50 microsecond from counter 0, which is working in mode 2. Okay, and the circuit I am going to design, and from the circuit you have to decode what is the address and what is the frequency. So here you have 8254. Okay, the chip select CS is connected to A7 and A1 A0 is your address lines which are connected to 8254. Okay. Now coming to the clock. Clock is connected to pin number 18, okay, which is at 2 megahertz. Okay, done. So if suppose only this part of the circuit is provided, nothing more, nothing less, and the question is write a program to generate a pulse at every 50 microsecond from counter 0. It does not matter where the counter 0 is, counter 0 suppose is here. Okay, definitely counter 0 has got its clock. This is the clock which is connected to counter 0. This is out, assume, okay, counter 0 out, done. Write a program. First thing, what will be the first step that you have to remember is to generate control word register. What will be the control word register to make counter 0 work in mode 2? Then the frequency and all those stuffs we can look into the, sorry. Go on. Wait a second, I will use the slide itself rather than using, because again it will go low. Discard. Okay. Program to generate pulse at every 50 microsecond from counter 0. Counter 0. Okay. And the circuit is this one. Anyone who got the control word register is 2 megahertz.
34H.
This is A7, A1, A0 connected to this. Okay, done. Okay. So first thing, control word register. We need to select counter 0. Okay, so the D7, D6. What will be the D7, D6? Counter 0. For that, you have to select 0, 0. Now coming to D5, D4. Okay, what will be D5, D4? You can use 1, 1 or 50 microsecond. Okay, leave this part. Okay, let us leave this part. Okay, 1, 1 is okay, or 0, 1 is also okay, because you don't need a very big number to put 50 microsecond. And third, D3, D2, D1. I will come to this particular part. Okay, why we need 0, 1. And D3, D2, D1, these are 3 bits to select the mode. And we said mode at every 50 pulse, you are generating a pulse, okay, at every 50 microseconds. So definitely it is mode 2 where you have pulse generated, pulse generator mode. Okay, so mode 2. So to get to mode 2, 0, 1, 0, clear. And then you have D0, which of course you can use binary number to enter into the value. So now the control word is 0001, which is 1, and 01004H. This is your control word. And the address for the control word, Okay, the address for control word, this is control word, and then address for control word. What is the address for control word? Address for control word. What should be the address for control word? A1, A0, A0, A1 should be 1, 1 to reach control word. Clear? A7 here is, if you put 1 here, okay, so 1, 0, 0, 0, then to reach to the control word 0, 0, 1, 1, because rest of the bits we are not showing, so it becomes 83H. Okay, so now the question is to write the program so that the IC works in mode 2. Clear? And what should be the count that you have to load? So this is the first step. Second step, third step, we should know the count value. How can we get to the count value? In the previous example, we did something to get the count. How can we get to the count value? What is the count value?
$51.
51. Wait a second. No. No. What steps you should take to get to the count value? You know the clock frequency. Okay, this is your clock frequency, and this is the frequency at which the out should change its value. Okay, so for that you just need the frequency at which the count output should change, which is 50 microsecond, divided by the clock frequency, that is 2 microsecond. If you do this calculation, you will get to the count value. So gone, this is 25. Okay, so sorry, not 2, because 1 by 2, so it is 0.5. Sorry, 0.5, 0.5. Okay, 0.5. So this gets 100. Okay, not 25, 100. Okay, now 100 is the count in decimal. So you have to convert this number into the hexadecimal value equivalent, which is 64H. Okay, so now you know the control words, you know the control words address, you know the count, just have to write a program. Okay, so the program, I'm going to write it here in this part only. Okay, so simply mvi a comma, you can load this control word, okay, which is 14H. Out, where you want to put this into the control word address 83H. Then you will need the count, which is mvi a comma, because you need only 8 bits, okay, to put this number. That's why we were using this particular mode, only LSB, or you can use LSB first MSB, but it is not, you don't need all 16 bits. You only need 8 bits to write the count. So you need only LSB only. Okay, for that you have 0, 0, 1. What was 0, 0? Anyone who remembers what is 0, 0 if I put 0, 0 in this particular D5, D0? It was latched mode. Okay, you have to remember these things, otherwise it will be difficult anyway. So mvi a comma, the control word, that is the count, sorry, that is 64H, that is LSB only, and then out to the counter where you want to put the count. So 80H, which is counter 0, and then halt. That's all. This is the complete program. Anyway, so do practice these things, and we can start this particular topic from the, or this IC from the next class. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Sir?
Mhm.
Sir?
Excuse me.
Sir?